Long time ago, once upon a time, we did video called as Angad stance. And can you actually learn a stance like that? Is that a real thing? So in the earlier Angad stance video, there was a intro in which it was not very good. It was a little more dramatic and over the top. And we got some trolling comments, and rightly so. We are going to address that a little more. We are going to look at it again, and in the process we will introduce 2 or 3 or 4 more points that can add. This can be actually a part 2 of that video, and we'll add new techniques and new insights on that sense. You can kind of ignore it, you can say scientifically nothing like that happens, but because certain stances can be manipulated like that, your stance could be a little more based towards the floor. That could happen, and because that is what we know, we are kind of trying to correlate, and we know it is not causation, and that we are just assuming the things over here and trying to bring a kind of a interesting aspect right in front of you.
Yes.
Basically from the Ramayana, Angad standing like this, and no warrior in Lanka could lift up his leg. It's more like a challenging thing. It's not in the middle of a fight. It's more like a challenging thing. It is coming from a story. You can kind of make the other person feel a little more powerless, and you can feel a little more heavy. You can kind of impose your weight and your stance and your flow in such a way that you become a little more heavier. That's what we explained in that old video.
It has been practiced in ancient period, in Vedic period, especially we have a kind of, especially a particular Veda for that. That is Dhanurveda. Okay, in this Dhanurveda, even now, no written document is available in that. The people, we can assume how it must have happened like this.
So of course,
we are saying with the confidence that because we are practicing. Even some of you are practicing martial art. You must have met these kind of incidents that you are having some heaviness in your body while doing practicing some sort of stances.
So in the earlier video, we approached that stance in a as logical way as possible. We tried to say that it is nothing to do with magic, nothing to do with tantra, nothing unnatural. But of course, the story is in such a way, and our country is in such a way that those aspects might have been there. You can, because we don't have any evidence to confirm or deny, so we are not going to claim anything and not impose our belief on you. But anyway, we are trying to look at it logically, and logically your stance can be a little more heavy, little more based. And in that video we explored this in 3 points, 3 ways in which your basic stance can be a little more heavier or more strong or something.
Yeah.
So basically, if we selected this kind of a stance, this is there in a lot of different martial arts. We explored 3 different points. Number 1, it is about your grip, like the old people and the elders in your house, they might have told you while walking in rain or something, you have to kind of clench your feet together, use your fingers to kind of grip the floor. हमारे बहुत सुंदर सुंदर पैर आपको अभी दिख रहे हैं. So basically, the clenching and gripping part is over here. This is how you kind of do it, and this is what you do with your foot. 1 and 2, that is just the grip. The grip itself will make your stance a little more solid. Yes. Right?
Even in the slippery floor, you can use that.
Yes, we use that because barefoot on the temples in Kerala, we use that a lot. Yes. Right?
Yes.
And number 2, we were talking about how you kind of hold the floor. If you're simply standing like this and focus on my positioning of the foot, if you're simply like this is a little more, give me a sweeping kick, sir. Aram se pata chalega, because this is a little more, of course, if you have some grip, it's not going to happen, but this is easy. This is easy. But now, if I kind of go inwards from both sides, it becomes a little more tough for doing all those things. It's more like already, my skin under the foot is kind of having a grip anyway. But other than that, I'm using both.
And with the help of finger.
Yeah. So that finger point plus the posture point is going to kind of make this a 2-sided structure going into the earth like that, plus the fingers.
Grab it.
Yeah, you're either doing this or you're doing that. Number 3, in that video, we talked about breathing. So breathing would be simply you exhale out and kind of convince yourself a little more. and bring your center of gravity a little more low. What am I talking about? Basically, breathe out, exhale. And now let us show a demo, right?
Yes.
Demo. This is me standing on a bus stand, already heavy, quite heavy.
Still he is heavy.
And opposite कर लेते हैं.
Oh.
ये better, right? So
Don't bang me and sit down.
so that's okay. But now in the stance, we will be a little. Now in the stance, we will be a little more wide. Number one, we'll use our fingers, grab the floor. Number two, we'll use that posture, kind of exert force in both different directions, kind of dig inside the earth like that. And number three, breathing. Breathe out and kind of. So this is supposed to be a little more difficult. It's supposed to be a little more difficult. Now, unlike our earlier video, of course, if
Don't bang
there
me
is
down.
no solution to somebody doing a double leg takedown. Yes, whatever your technique, whatever it is there, if two or three people or even one person with good technique comes up, there is no solution to a takedown. Use the technique, sir. Use the technique.
Yes.
Use the technique. Full correct technique.
Okay. You need to in the
Yeah,
normal
everything,
stance-
everything,
normal
everything.
stance or,
Correct,
like-
correct. Whatever, everything you know.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, it is difficult, but we are not saying it's impossible. It becomes a little more better for demonstration purpose. But now see, if you really want, you can. But because of the weight distribution, because of the stance, it was little more difficult for me. That's all we are saying. Here are the newer points that we are going to add. We talked about the grip with the fingers, we talked about your posture, we talked about the breathing. Now, along with that, let us address a little more practical kind of a point of view, which is about weight. Your body weight is actually going to help you in not only this kind of a demonstration technique. आप खड़े हैं, मेरा पैर उठा के दिखाइए, नहीं उठा पाए तो आज की चाय आप हमको पिलाएंगे. That's okay. But if you are going a little more practical, what is this technique? How could it be used? Most probably wrestling, that kind of sports,
Yes.
in which your weight management is something you could manage, but you can't take all the time in the world to do this, to do this, to. By the time the person will apply a different technique, and this is not really practical in a fighting kind of a situation. But what is practical in a fighting kind of a situation is your weight management. Understand that body weight is going to remain the same. You're not going to be more heavy or less heavy. You're not going to alter your body weight. That is not going to happen, at least here. This is not going to happen. If you want to believe other techniques exist, good for you. But here in this platform, as of now, we are going to try and keep it logical.
Not claiming anything.
Not claiming anything.
Practice and find it out. Explore it. Yep.
Or like me, use this technique and increase your weight. So managing your body weight is about understanding that something is easier or difficult to lift only because of its structure. Now, this punching bag over here, there is a punching bag over here, it weighs about 20 kgs. Now 20 kgs would have been easier to lift if it was just one kettlebell, or if it was one big dumbbell, or in a barbell or something. Those Olympic sized barbells, they are approximately 20. I could be wrong. I'm not a gym person. But anyway, that's a very easy thing to lift. But to bring this punching bag, and we are on the first floor, on that narrow staircase, it was very difficult. I could have managed and done very well if it was just a single dumbbell. Just lift it up like this and walk. That would have been much easy because a dumbbell is easier to hold. It is
And
the posture.
More shorter.
It is small. It can be managed. But now imagine all those 20 kgs in a sack. In a sack. Sack is full of water. And somehow the bottom of the sack is having more concentration of water than the. Of course, that's how gravity works. But anyway, now this is going to be a little more difficult. Imagine 20 or 50 kgs of water in a bag. It's easier to move the bag from the top. You can do something like this, but it's not getting off the ground. Why? Because the weight is difficult to lift, the structure is unpredictable, and it's concentrated towards the floor. There is more water there, and less water here. You can move this bag around, but you can't move that. It takes a lot of maybe 2 people, and then you can lift it up. That's what you're trying to do with your body weight. This could be easy. Standing nice and strict or something like that. Yes. Now, if I am to put my body weight and try to increase my base, number one, that is one technique, or to kind of be a little more unpredictable with what my body weight is doing, this will be a little more difficult. Just look at this.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. Again, again, right? Of course, you're not going to try and fall down like that and give your back in a real fight. But I'm saying these techniques are used in judo, in wrestling, in grappling. It is used. Check out this video called as God of Judo. And there's a 10th Dan master. I'll put the clip for you. What he's basically doing is, other people, if you throw them like this, they won't do this. But he's doing that. Basically, people get stuck with the body weight. If you try to pull me over there, I'm resisting that and I'll end up falling. But if you pull me like that again, I'll kind of go with it. And that is how you manage your body weight. This is point number 2, managing the body weight and going in a flow, flowing either against the resistance or towards the resistance. This will bring an exponential level of change in how your stance and how your body weight feels for the other guy. Now, those are the practical points that can be used in sparring or rolling or whatever practice that you're doing. To use that newer knowledge, here is the new and updated version of Angad stand. In the earlier video, we were talking about the same thing using this leg. So if I am standing like this, you can simply lift my leg. That would be kind of easy because the weight is distributed in between my front leg and my back leg. But now, if I do all those things, clenching the foot and using the posture, also this kind of a breathing,
and more closure.
yes, and then I breathe out and it will be a little more strong.
Difficult.
It will,
Strong also.
yeah. Now, adding these points and understanding the weight and thinking a little more practically, this could be a better variation of the Angad stance demonstration. This is not a fighting technique, this is a demonstration technique. To lift this leg, we need to put maximum weight behind it, and we need the weight to be at the bottom of that water bag. That is what we are trying to do. To put the weight at the bottom of the water bag, we also need to understand pressure a little better. If I am exerting a certain whatever Newton of force on the floor, like this, I am exerting more force or pressure like this. Maybe the force or the weight experienced by the floor is same. My weight is still same, like this and like this. But this is certainly more painful if I was standing on someone's chest. So basically, I am going to make it just about this 1 foot. All my body weight above this leg. Now we are going to lift up the fingers so that it's even in that little area, I am also reducing that a little more, lifting up the fingers and making it a little more small, tightening the shin muscle, which is the muscle which comes up and down when you do this, and also the calf muscle. I'm going to tighten all that, breathe out, and try to take my body. 1 second.
It is more, yeah.
I'm trying to make that small, make these muscles tight, put my body weight above and breathe out and try to exert pressure as much as possible towards the end. And I'm trying to become that water bag which has most weight and more pressure and more concentration at the lower part. So this is the regular stance. Lift up the leg. Yeah. I'm already heavy. Haath se kar lo. Yes, that's what we are doing.
Got it.
Okay. Now, updated stance. Up. 1 second. This is why I said it will take time. Arey, ruk jao.
Rebooting.
Yes, try. Try now. Dono hath.
Too heavy.
You'll try. Nobody said it's impossible to lift, but it's definitely, It feels like double or triple heavy as compared to a basic stance. Basic stance like this, right? So that's it. क्विक समरी. अगर लंबा वीडियो आपको नहीं देखना है और हिंदी में सुनना है, बहुत सारे कमेंट हमको आते हैं, वी आर ट्राइंग टू एडजस्ट मैक्सिमम बहुत सारे लोगों को समझ आ पाए, इसलिए दिस इज अ क्विक समरी इन हिंदी. ये जो स्टैंड्स है, अंगद जी ने रामायण में ऐसा ही किया था, ऐसा हम बोल नहीं सकते. इट वुड बी रॉन्ग टू से दैट. उसके अंदर कौन सा मैजिक है, कौन सा तंत्र है, कौन सा टेक्निक है, वो हमको नहीं पता. हमको कुछ चीजें पता है जो कि लॉजिकल हैं, जो कि फिजिकल हैं, जो कि मार्शल आर्ट्स में प्रैक्टिस करी जाती है. ये है और इनको हम प्रैक्टिस करते हैं. तो वो कथा सुनते हुए हमको ये समझ आया कि हाँ, ऐसी चीजें होती हैं फिजिकल स्टैंड्स में. जब हम प्रैक्टिस करते हैं तो ऐसा कुछ ना कुछ होता है. तो उस आधार पे हम कह रहे हैं कि अंगद स्टैंड्स के जैसा एक स्टैंड्स ये हो सकता है जिसमें आपका वजन या आपका भार
डबल हो जाता है.
डबल हो या ना हो, डबल होने का अनुभव जरूर होगा, क्योंकि आपका प्रेशर इस तरीके से, आप एक पत्थर को उठा सकते हैं, लेकिन उसी 10 किलो के पत्थर को अगर आप लिक्विड बना दें, पानी बना दें, और 10 किलो का पानी का एक बड़ा सा बैग हो जिसको आप उठा पाएंगे, नहीं उठा पाएंगे, वो मुश्किल होगा. सो दैट इज व्हाट वी आर टॉकिंग अबाउट. उस भार का अनुभव अलग हो सकता है जिसकी वजह से आप ये स्टैंड्स के जैसा एक डेमोन्स्ट्रेशन दे सकते हैं. इसमें पहला पॉइंट है, आप अपने पैरों की उंगलियों को ऐसे जकड़िए. दूसरा पॉइंट है, अपने पोस्चर को ऐसा बनाइए कि दोनों पैर ऐसे जमीन में गड़ जाएं. पॉइंट नंबर 3 ऐसा है कि आप सांस बाहर को छोड़िए और नीचे की तरफ थोड़ा सा बैठिए. पॉइंट नंबर 4 ये है कि आप अपने बॉडी वेट को समझिए, कैसे आपका बॉडी वेट नीचे की तरफ ज्यादा हो या फिर फ्लो में ज्यादा हो. अगर कोई पुश कर रहा है तो आप उसके साथ पुश ना करते रहिए, उसको अपने तरफ ले लीजिए. अगर आपको कोई खींच रहा है तो उसको रेसिस्ट करते हुए आप उसको रेसिस्ट कर सकते हैं या फिर उसके साथ भी जा सकते हैं. तो बॉडी वेट को रेसलिंग में, मार्शल आर्ट्स में समझा गया है कि किस तरह से आप अपने शरीर का भार इधर उधर लगाते हैं, नहीं लगाते हैं, पुशिंग करते हैं, पुलिंग करते हैं. उस सारे ज्ञान को लेके आप अपडेटेड अंगद स्टैंड्स पे आए हैं कि अपना बॉडी वेट एक पैर के ऊपर, पॉइंट ऑफ कांटेक्ट कम, उंगलियां ऊपर, सांस बाहर, एंड दैट्स इट.
पानी के बैग की तरह.
पानी के बैग की तरह. पानी का बैग होता है, होता है बड़ा सा पानी का बैग. इफ यू लाइक व्हाट वी आर वेयरिंग, ये कर लो, ये कर. इफ यू लाइक व्हाट वी आर वेयरिंग, इफ यू लाइक व्हाट वी आर वेयरिंग,
What is it? How is it?
ये ऐसे होता है. ये इफ यू लाइक व्हाट वी आर वेयरिंग, दिस इज कॉल्ड कलरी धोती. यू कैन ऑर्डर दिस ऑनलाइन एंड दिस इज 100% कॉटन, और इसमें आप बहुत कुछ कर सकते हैं. देखो यहाँ से खुला भी है.
AC.
हाँ, सो इमरजेंसी में आप टी शर्ट्स वगैरह है, कड़क मर्च पे लिंक में देखिए. ये सारी एक्सरसाइजेस वगैरह में आपको इंटरेस्ट है, सो यू कैन एक्सप्लोर मडी मसल्स
In Sendojitsu.
सेंडोजित्सु मोबाइल एप्लीकेशन. ठीक है. बाकी यू नो व्हाट एल्स. म्यूचुअल फंड इन्वेस्टमेंट्स आर सब्जेक्ट टू मार्केट रिस्क. रीड ऑल स्कीम रिलेटेड डॉक्यूमेंट्स केयरफुली.